Bwana,
hapana, nilikwambia kusema ukweli. Kwani nilikuwa nimeongea nao? Ground ni tofauti. Ni noma.
Okay. What are your reactions on that?
My reaction? You see, you have just sampled out some of the comments from the people. Leadership is about knowing what the people think. Even when you pass messages, you must know whether that message makes sense to the people or not. You have seen, you called people, one in Busia, one in Kakamega, and they are telling you, this ground seems to be listening to William Ruto.
All right. Ya tusikiza mwingine hapa. Hello, good morning.
Yes, Bwana Gerard.
Yes, jambo.
Ni Steve Mwema hapa napiga kutoka Mombasa.
Steve Mwema, jambo.
Salimia Bwana Profesa sana.
Asante, nimesalimika.
Hello.
Nimesalimika.
Hello.
Tunakusikia dadi, sema. Tunakusikia Steve. Steve ona hapa ana. Steve hapo anawekeko credit ya kutosha bwana. Acha tena anapeka. Hello Steve.
Yes, jambo Bwana Gerard.
Jambo sir, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Salimia Bwana Profesa sana.
Nimesalimika.
I like his energy. Unfortunately kitu moja na sikubaliani naye, ana sound kama Junet Mohamed. Unajua anakuwa sycophant wa Ruto, na Junet anakuwa sycophant wa Raila. So ukiangalia tunakuwa na problem. Hakuna mle anataka kusema ukweli. Junet hataki kuambia watu ukweli na Profesa hataki kuambia watu ukweli. Kwa sababu sasa anasema ni hustler movement. Na tunajua hao wanasiasa wengi wetu wameiba pesa. Unapata kuna corruption. Hata huyu ndugu wetu anaitwa Bwana William Ruto hapo kwa scandal nyingi za corruption, lakini wataki kusema, lakini wanakuja na narrative ya kusema hustler. Sasa mpaka nashangaa hii, kama mimi as a young person who is working hard and other young people who are working hard to enrich themselves through the right way. I don't understand this hustler movement. Hustler movement ni uongo, iko na uongo ndani yake. Manake wewe niambia, wewe Gerard, wewe mwenyewe umefungua hii account yako ya Facebook, unafanya genuine business.
Yes.
Umenipata? Haujaibia mtu yote, unafanya ukweli. Wewe ni real hustler. Mtu kama wewe anaweza kuitwa ni real hustler. Lakini wale mapolitician wetu wengine wanatudanganya ati ni hustler. Mtu kama William, mtu kama Mdhama, they are not hustlers. Wache kutudanganya. Kwa hivyo Profesa huwa namfollow sana, lakini pia atuambie ukweli, ache kubehave kama Junet.
Unafikiri amesema uongo gani ndio aweza kurespond to that? Or do you mind picking out?
Anasema the hustler movement ina kila mtu. Kwa mfano anataka tuelezee wakati before William wakosane na president kulikuwa na scandal ya corruption. Mbona hajazitaja hizo scandals kama za Kimwarer, za Aror Dam, unanipata? Vitu za laptop, kuna pesa zimeibiwa za laptop kutoka kwa ofisi yake. Umenipata? Na huyo jamaa alikuwa anauza laptop, he's a real hustler. Alikuwa anauza pikipiki pale Makindu. Akadanganywa akaambiwa lete pikipiki supply laptop kwa ofisi ya William Ruto. Na pesa ikapotea hivyo. Unanipata?
Sawa.
Kuna uongo ndani yake. Unapata? Unajua tunataka tuambiane ukweli. Mimi sikubaliani na vipengele fulani za BBI, lakini nataka tuambiane ukweli. Kwa hivyo Profesa ni mtu amesoma, lakini anataka atueleze. Atakuwa fanatic kama Junet Mohamed.
Sawa.
Watu wa Junet unapata tu mtu ni kupiga tu kelele tu. Nataka tuambiane ukweli.
Haya, atakwambia. Asante sana Steve.
Okay, sawa Gerard.
Unasikia mambo hapo Profesa, mambo ya Steve.
Steve anasema ameuliza swali mzuri. Na ametaja mojawapo ya mambo ya ufisadi ikiwa ni criminal na arwol. If you look at how government operates, part of the information that is being peddled about the deputy president, you know, it has been structured to spoil his name. And if today Ruto said he's not standing for elections as president, all these claims about his corruption scandals will go. The reason why there are corruption scandals against Ruto is because he wants to be president. Now, Kimarel and Arwol, Gerard, you should know how government works. Ask Kimwema or anybody else in this country, how does a government money which is coming from donors end up in the office in the hands of the deputy president.
Alright. Kuna jamaa ako pale Tennessee, America. I'll keep distracting you.
Yeah.
But on my love. Yes, how are you?
Hi Gerard, how are you doing?
Salama sana, am I speaking to?
Huyu ni Ombui.
Ombui, jambo.
Yes, jambo sana, habari yako?
Nashukuru. Sasa hebu ongea na profesa, nione ndio ulikuwa na maneno na profesa kabisa.
Yes, ninafurahia sana ile mjadala mko nayo. Na nimependa vile huyo kijana ametoka ameongea. Unajua kama tunataka Kenya iendelee mbele na tukue pamoja, lazima tuambiane ukweli. Lakini ile kitu ambayo naona profesa anasema is very partisan. If indeed is using its scholarly, intellectual ability, then he should be the one to tell Kenyans the truth.
Okay.
Tunajua historia ya Ruto vile amegrow mpaka mahali amefika. Ni vile sometimes people are scared of saying the truth in public because sometimes people fear the consequences.
Yeah.
So ile kitu ningeambia profesa aambie Wakenya ukweli. Me, I'm not saying I'm supporting BBI. I am not saying I am supporting Raila Odinga. I am not saying I'm supporting Ruto or Uhuru Kenyatta. Ile kitu I support is Kenyans to be told the truth so that they can make informed decisions in 2022.
Okay.
Sio lazima wale wamejitokeza ndio wanafaa kuongelelewa kuhusu. Kuna watu kama kina Mukisa Kitui na wengine which people like professors should be informing Kenya, educating Kenya to help those people names come into public, popularize those names, the people who can competently transform the country like what Kibaki did. But we cannot be singing the same names, the same people who have promised Kenyans goodies, which they have not delivered up to now. Now they are coming up with issues to do with the hustler and the dynasty, when they should be telling us what does the hustler mean. When they are telling us about the hustler, what does it compose? What is it going to deliver to Kenya if they get power in 2022? Why are they opposing the dynasty? They should not be telling us that, when your hustlers should be wapiganiwe so that they can also sit around the table. Ruto has been sitting in the table with the dynasty since he was age 25 up to now. What has he done for Kenya? What has Ruto done for the people in Rift Valley? Since he became the deputy president, Gerard, tell us, what has Ruto done for the people of Rift Valley that he can say, this is a very mega project I've done for you people when I was the deputy president. Now, nipe mguu nikuwe rais wa Kenya ili niweze kuwafanyia mengi zaidi.
Yeah. Swala nyeti, profesa atakujibu. Asante sana Ombui, na mnujue tunaanza kazi next week ya diaspora. Mko tayari?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother. Enjoy your time. Say hi to watu wa Tennessee. Tachukua tu simu moja ama mbili alafu tumalize. Thank you so much Ombui. Prof atakujibu. Tachukua simu moja ama mbili. I've seen we had some guys we missed. Some two guys ambao tuliwakosa kwa line. Tachukua tu simu mbili alafu I think that should be the end of the calls. The first person to call in ni mtu ambaye that's the first person we'll talk to. First come first serve. Only one or two calls ambao tunaweza kuchukua. Alafu tukirudi tunapea professor aweze kujibu maswali ambayo yameulizwa. Alafu tunaendelea katika ile kipindi cha lala salama. We only going to pick two calls on bunge la mwananchi. Alafu tutaweza kupea professor aweze kurespond to the questions. Naona Abbas Njuguna anasema guys, according to current status DP's winning 2022 is undisputed. I have only one question: what if elections are rigged? Swala. Edwin Kiprop says Stanley Meli says Ombu seems to be bitter in a way. Max Kimeli, Ombu is too shallow. Mesha Kiptoo following closely. Yeah, wacha tusikie simu nyingi. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Gerald.
Good to hear from you. Am I speaking
to? Dixon from Membo.
Hello. Yes, I can hear you, sir. Hello. Jamaa nini amepotea? Alright. Aya, utarudi. Naona Wilson Kaja alisema, I was asking myself, where did Professor Kisiangani go? I got it now. You got a tough message to Kenya. Mainstream media will shy away from me, Professor, but from the Aslas Nation, thank you for standing with the truth. Speak your mind boldly and truthful. Proud of that great brain. Nandogo says, I've equally spent many years in school, and true, I agree with my buddy Edward on BBI. Kona Amikas, Amikas, that Julius Manyara, Professor is spot on. Arujiki mesema tuned in from Bungoma, asante sana. Julius Manyara mesema watching from Meru. Asante sana. I think we've closed in the call so that we can finish on time. We have only almost 10 minutes. Lakini kabla tujaenda sana, nataka tuangalie magazeti. Just the headlines very briefly. Haraka taanza na gazeti ya Daily Nation. Inasema Ruto defends Uhuru over Raila attacks. In a fresh twist, the DP who has lately been attacking President Kenyatta aggressively defended the head of state, outlining the Jubilee administration's achievements since taking power in 2013. The strange deputy was become an outsider in his own government thanks to the March 2018 camaraderie between the president and Mr. Odinga, popularly known as the handshake. Praised their performance prior to the reapproachment with the opposition leader. Hey, mapenzi ya handshake. What ODM presidential ticket in 2022 we will have to apply and part with non-refundable shillings 1 million. Ni fundraising. Ni rambe nini? New tax to raise cost of online transactions, goods, services and both over internet taxed. Tunaanza kukula ushuru, hata hii maneno tunaongea hapa, tunaanza kukulishwa ushuru. Naona pia Raila Odinga yuko hapa anasema, Mr. 6 months. Mr. 6 months, the youngsters you promised laptops 8 years ago are now old enough to see you through your lies. The youth you promised 8 million jobs in 8 years can see through the wheelbarrow lie you are now peddling. It has been 8 years, Mr. 6 months, and not 3 years. No, Mr. 6 months. Kama kinaanza kuumana. Schools hit by discipline crisis. There's a disturbing wave of violent delinquency spreading across our schools just 2 weeks into the new school term. Unprecedented cases of violent students' behavior towards teachers, staff, and fellow students have been reported. At least 5 students have been tried in court with assault after allegedly attacking and injuring their teachers and schoolmates with knives, machetes, and metal bars. In one extreme case, a schoolboy is staring at murder charges after being accused of killing a watchman at their school. People sweated out to answer essay questions in test. Majority of learners in classes 5, 6, and 7 struggled to answer questions correctly in last week's NEC assessments. Motivation. Police officers set for pay rise. Dozens of police officers from all ranks across the various units and formations are expected to benefit after completing short courses at the National Police Training in Kiganjo. That is the Nation. That's the Daily Nation. On the headline of the People Daily, inasema Uhuru's grand plan to restore Mount Kenya. Park Diary BBI proponents are pulling all stops to market the proposed law changes, with radio talks to sell the project and meeting local leaders to shift opinion. Actually, Raila Odinga today is in Kameme TV, if I'm not wrong. I think he's on Kameme TV, or is it Noro TV? No, Kameme TV, to speak to the people of Central Kenya, probably in a bid to take back the control of Central Kenya that has been seen to be going to William Ruto. All right, as the People Daily headline, survey Kenyans unhappy way of state of economy. Health workers and media are the toast of many citizens. They are saying Kenyans are unhappy on the situation of the economy. Mahali uchumi ipo, Wakenya hawajafurahi. Anasema hapa pia shillings 500 million legal fees that has put law firms on EACC radar. At least 8 MCAs and 25 law firms are being propped over the $500 million fee note. The anti-graft Caesar says will be paid last week, but risks of corruption. All right. It's an interesting time to be alive. The standard, the headline was Raila chances of presidency. Raila chances of presidency na anaanza kuwa na watu wake wanachama ambao wanasema wanasimama. Kuna Oparanya hapo, kuna Kingi, alafu kuna Joe, but Kingi has said he's not going to run on ODM. That is the headlines of the newspapers. Because of time, we'll not delve into the papers. Lakini maanza kusikia headlines iko vipi. Alright, wacha nirudishe kwa Kishangani aweze kuzungumza na watu wake ambao wameuliza maswali, alafu I also make comments on the headlines. Karibu, Professor.
Kwanza, let me just say, what has Ruto done for Kenyans? From the United States, Mbui, I think Ruto can go into details and say what he has done, because he has been a deputy president. He has served Kenyans as a deputy president. I know he has served Kenyans as an MP in Eldoret North, the former Eldoret North. Details of what he has done, it is him to answer. And I wish you can tell him, he will give you those details. But as far as I'm concerned, Ruto, the one single thing that Ruto has done for Kenyans is has provided good leadership. That's the point. And the fact that he has provided good leadership doesn't mean that he cannot do better. So he has provided good leadership. Am I Junet Mohammed? It is a very bad thing to compare me to Junet Mohammed. I've spent 30 years teaching in the university. And I have a lot of students, even in Bunge. I am using science, and all our discussions have been about the scientific assessment of the situation. And you have seen it has been backed by callers. That if we call elections right now, Ruto seems to have worked magic. And I'm not saying I'm justifying anything. I'm just saying that Ruto seems to know what the people want. And he has done it, and that's why people are supporting him with the Hustler movement. So if he's doing that, well and good. Politics is about interests. And he knows where his interests lie. I've not declared I will be the first one to criticize Ruto. I can call him and tell him off. Because he's a national leader and therefore he's subject to scrutiny. But I'm not just coming to say useless things. I'm saying things that I can prove. So I think my sycophants should be pegged on a specific point that I made, that the caller thinks really was sycophants, but it was not backed by facts. It was about emotion. Then I would tackle that directly. But a generalization won't be fair to me. Then the question is about Ruto's claims about corruption. I mean, the claims against Ruto with regard to corruption. The deputy public, I refer the caller to this interview that was Gerard filed by Annie Giguta last year with the director of public prosecutions on Citizen T on K24 over a role under Kimwaril. And that's why I asked, how does money which is coming from a donor end up in the hands of the deputy president? It can't even end up in the hands of the president. The truth is, our deputy public prosecutor, our director of public prosecutions, Nuruddin Haji, was very clear. The deputy president had nothing. And he emphasized, Gerard, nothing to do with Kimwaril and Arol. It is politics.
That is a prosecutor.
Yes, so the director of public prosecution said nothing. Because that was a government project, those were government loans. And when money comes in as loans, it's kept in treasury in hard currency. And then there is a bill of landing, the survey of the area, the parent ministry is given a chance to quantify all the things that are supposed to be attended to, and everything that you accomplish, every item you accomplish, a voucher is raised for you to be paid. And that one means that it is treasury which releases money against a voucher and against an inspected job which has been done. So how that money was diverted to the deputy president and the treasury secretary is permanently under the supervision of the president, it defeats logic. So because people don't have knowledge of how government works, when you go to the streets and shout that Ruto has stolen donor money, it is a very attractive thing to say. But when they ask you how did this happen, because of your ignorance of how treasury works, how government works, you think that people will believe that. And that is the reason why I told my viewers, I've spent a lot of time in school, and I know how procedure goes in government. And so, unless people can come up with tangible evidence to say how Ruto took this money away from government and it ended in his pockets, I think it is a hoax, it is hearsay. Even the other day you heard about the helicopter issue in his office. ESCC has cleared him. So, the idea to force an erection charge against a person and you don't prove it is also not very fair to him. So come out with a tangible thing. All these have been claims. Let me ask the viewers before Gerard. I think you give me a minute on this. How come you can make false allegations about people and unsubstantiated allegations about people like Ruto, and you are not able to ask how did, for example, the molasses plant in Kisumu transfer from government to private hands. What was the deal? Do all Kenyans know? What happened with the maize scandal in the former Prime Minister's office with some of his officials? What was the role? What happened? So corruption begins and ends with Ruto. And that's the problem in this country. We are not supposed to talk about Goldenberg. We are not supposed to ask anything about Triton. Corruption begins in 2017 when Ruto seems not to be doing very well with in Jubilee from 2018. So once you start prosecuting corruption against that, other people are forgiven. So you have to force it. Let us get evidence about what Ruto has done. And as a scholar, I will honor up and say, yes, these facts make sense. But if you're going to do media, and the mainstream media has been hostile to the deputy president, as you know, then there is no objective way of assessing him. Let us get facts. And once you present the facts, I think, Gerard, call the guy in Mombasa called Mwema, bring him on this show, let him present us with evidence which he has about Ruto's corruption scandals, and then I will honor about the first one to acknowledge. Then the question of how Raila attacks Jubilee, how does Raila attack Jubilee? I've just seen some media things you are reading. How does Raila attack Jubilee? The same government which has been giving him comfort and massaging his egos without attacking Uhuru. So again, you need to be a fool not to see that if he attacks Uhuru's Jubilee's track record in terms of development, he's also attacking Uhuru. And I think Uhuru is smart enough to know that. The president knows that Raila has started attacking him. He has chosen.
He knows he's going back to the bush,
yes.
guerrilla war.
Yes, the president knows that. And so, and you know what? Raila should also know that the president, having been elected to lead, has to be flexible in his decisions because he has voters to please. The president can't please Raila and forget about voters. The president is not a president because of Raila. He's the president because of voters. So we voters matter more than Raila. So when he attacks the Jubilee track record, he's attacking the president. So it's up to Kenyatta to know what to do about it. I'm sure he knows what to do about it. But for Raila, I think this is the job he should have done from a long time ago. But you know, after you go in and start eating, you come out satisfied, then you start abusing the people who cooked for you. It's also bad African manners. In Africa, we don't do this kind of thing. And then in ODM, you have talked about the media, and Gerard, you are mentioning things like Kingi or Paranya. First of all, the money for presidential, for those who want to vie for presidency under ODM is elitist. There are very few people who can raise that money, even those working in government. You could have leadership qualities, but be locked out of that. So it's an aristocratic, I think it is an oligarchical. It's not even aristocratic. It's a oligarchy. Yeah, it's an oligarchical figure. It's for the rich. Only rich people can go there and raise 100. And then secondly, the issue of Kingi or Paranya raising, it is difficult to imagine that anybody can vie for presidency in the ODM. You see, these fellows if they decide that they are vying, I suspect they will first seek permission from Raila Odinga to be allowed to vie in a mock contest, and then pay 1 million, and the money will be returned. So it is for optics purposes. They are not going to vie. They can't take on Raila. The presidential candidate for ODM is going to be Raila.
They've said for you to submit your application, you must submit it with 1 million Kenyan shillings. Ukipeana application, unapeana na milioni ngapi?
Moja.
Yes.
So that's the point. I'm saying they will give 1 million, but it will be returned. And even those who want to buy,
it is non-refundable. So maybe in
no, they will refund the money because it is a mock. Is a mock setup to tell people that actually it's a democratic thing.
It's a sweepstake.
It's a nibako. in our language, niyo ni vako. It's not true. So they will set up this drama. They are setting up a play and make sure that they appear like they are seriously buying, but they are not buying. They pay the money, but the money will be refunded so that they lose to Raila. The whole thing is they have to lose to Raila. So there will be no contest. Yeah. So the presidential candidate is Raila Odinga, and I think.
But before you get there, you must be busy.
They have to look like they are doing something democratic.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I think we are 6 minutes past. I want to give you an opportunity to speak to all these triggers. We'll start with Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the president. We go to the deputy president, Raila Odinga, Mudavadi. Who else is saying he's running for president? All these other guys. How do you speak to them? I'll start with Uhuru Kenyatta. What is your message to Uhuru Kenyatta?
I think for our president, Uhuru Kenyatta, my message to you is that Kenya has challenges. You are the chief executive. Always be informed by the greater good. When you take decisions about our country, you have done well, but you can do better. Listen to everybody. The resistance against BBI is because some people feel it was not only inclusive, the method of gathering views was not inclusive, and it is because it looked like it was controlled by yourself and also controlled by your friend and brother, Raila Odinga. Other people were locked out. The idea of the Constitution, Mr. President, is a very serious matter. Right now, you are planning to retire in about 18 months. How do you see Kenya under a president who controls parliament, controls the judiciary, but the judiciary and parliament have no control over the president? That is my question to you, and it is because of that most of us really fear the BBI. It is something that can destroy our country. Lastly, Mr. President, as we go to this purported referendum, if it ever takes place, 35% under our current economy is not possible. Even in the next 10 years, this economy has not shown enough muscle to raise 35% for the counties. So to say that BBI will bring 35% without a consummate plan to reform our economy is also not true. I request you to abandon the BBI project, to secure your legacy and work hard to make sure that we have peaceful elections. We have a beautiful, beautiful constitution through which we can conduct elections. Our republic is broke. It needs money. The economy needs to reform. Let us keep our attention on that and forget about BBI. Mr. President, I do that with a lot of respect.
Raila Odinga?
Raila Odinga, you have been a leader for a very long time. And as a leader, you have seen many challenges. Mr. Odinga, you have suffered, and that is not in question. But people believed in you. But that is until you entered a handshake. When you entered the handshake, it revealed the other side of you that people didn't know. People thought you are a Democrat. But when you come to support a BBI project that enhances power for the executive and undermines parliament and the judiciary, you have told the people of Kenya that you don't believe in democracy, you don't believe in the principle of separation of powers, you don't believe in a balance of power among government institutions. So your legacy is completely damaged. You need to do something very fast, very, very fast. First, to reclaim your legacy and to reclaim the space that you used to have. Many of your supporters have moved on. Unfortunately for you, Bwana Raila Odinga, your supporters have moved on to Ruto. I know Ruto was one of your lieutenants, a good student of your politics, but he has run away with your territory. What are you going to do about it? I suggest this. The only person who can help you recover your legacy is William Ruto. Join him and make the dream big. But when you join him, you should not join him as a competitor, but as an advisor who can make him a better president. Because, as you can see, he controls a huge number of voters in Western, a huge number of voters in Central, Mount Kenya, Rift Valley, Nairobi, and the coast, and even Northeastern. And probably Ruto is going to be our president. So you had better start talking to him, enrich his presidency, advise him well, make sure he helps you to get back your dream. Because the hustlers that he's dealing with, he's talking about, the dream of the hustlers seems to resonate much more with the Raila of yesterday than the Raila of today. I hope you don't take it personally, Bwana Odinga.
William Ruto.
The biggest problem that you will face today is how to manage the many people who admire you and want to work with you. I'm sure 3 years ago you didn't know that you would be in this kind of state. But this is what God hides from us. You have a duty to keep the dream of uniting the entire republic. Many people think you can be our president. They are supporting you without anything. They are working for you without anything. But I'm sure you are also surprised by this massive support. Maybe God came through you and gave you the message to talk to the people, to pass to the people. And that message seems to be sitting very well with the republic. You have to accept what is happening with humility. Accommodate everyone. If Raila Odinga comes to you, accommodate him. If any other leader who has been abusing you comes to you, accommodate him. Because leaders become useless when they are popular. They become arrogant. I'm sure you know that. So, as we go to 2022, you have made your point about BBI. You are likely to be supported by very many people on your presentations. I think God has heard, but the Republic has also heard. And by your representations, your actions, your weekend meet the people tours, your church connections, people know that William Ruto is probably going to be our president and we should give him a chance. So when they give you a chance, you must have a plan for Kenya. Kenya that accommodates everybody. A lot of people now are distorting your message on hustling. You must come out and tell the people that the wheelbarrow is just a symbol of work. You are not setting up classes to fight other classes. You are setting up a reasonable platform for us to give a chance to all. Those who are from the humble background to make it to the top, to be billionaires. So therefore, as you celebrate the lower cadres of the people who are working hard to rise to the top, like yourself, you must also celebrate the many rich people in this country who have just worked hard and honestly to rise to the top. But those who sit pretty and hope they are entitled to everything, power and resources without working hard, you make it clear to your supporters you have no time for them. I wish you well, Bwana William Ruto, because I think you are likely to be our president and a good president too. Remember my words. Keep praying.
All right. So, Sarah, what do you think will be the president's legacy, by the way, as he goes home?
The president's legacy?
Yes.
Kenyatta?
Yes, Uhuru Kenyatta.
Largely he has kept our country peaceful.
Because of handshake.
Partly because of handshake. And handshake did well. He has kept our country peaceful. We have not been at war in a way that it disrupts our social life. And generally, he has been tolerant. A lot of us have said certain things that in other countries can't be said against him. But the fact that he has tolerated us is a good legacy. Generally, he has been a tolerant president and kept our country busy, and he has been tolerant. So I think what I would tell President Kenyatta is that as we go to the 2021, we go to the wee hours of his leadership, he must continue with that tolerance.
Right.
The temptation to tell him to become rogue. He should not listen to Atwoli, because those are the people telling him to be a dictator. Let him continue with his tolerance. It is the greatest thing that he will leave behind.
Can reward us.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us for today's tackle, being a Monday of 25th January 2021. For the tacklers who have been with us for 2 hours, 20 minutes now, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning us. It's always a pleasure to have you. Like I say, always, the views expressed on the tackle belongs to the panelists. So don't come here telling me, oh, the tackle it belongs to you. Can come also and say your things and go home. Everybody comes here, they say what they believe in, you speak your truth, and you go home. So all the views and expressions that are found here belongs to the viewers. We don't take credit or we don't take ownership of expressions or actually opinions given on the tackle. So we really appreciate. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you're going to have a great week ahead. May God bless you, and we'll see you again tomorrow on another session of the tackle. We love you. This is the tackle, and the tackle ends now. Take care and bye bye. We wish that God be good with you as you go out to hustle. Tunashukuru sana. Mungu aweze kuwapea bundles ya kuweza kuona tackle kesho. Asante sana. Bye bye, and we love you. Take care.